everybody. This is really quite scary, and even adult men are finding this quite fearful, this situation. It's not going to abate, it's not going to stop. It's like the whole treatment of a certain injectable that has gone too far. They've gone too far and they can't stop now. And they don't care who they take down the shithole with them, unfortunately. Just listen to this poor gentleman. He's the guy that's running for his party to be the leader in Poland.
That number of young men packed in,
18,000.
Must have been quite a tense atmosphere.
That was scary, I must say. That was really scary, especially that we visited this camp during the night. And, I did not expect so many...
Look at it.
Yeah, 18,000 people within a week. And the camp was prepared for 400 people.
Yeah.
And this madness has to be stopped. It will be stopped by Poland. We stopped it. We never let anyone to come illegally to Poland. When you see Polish people in London, we are here legally. We pay taxes. We contribute to the society. And if anyone would like to come to Poland legally, you are very welcome. But the problem is when you have 200,000 people in Germany, we do not know who are they. They just vanished. 200,000 people by the German data. We don't know who are they, where are they, what are they going to do.
Dominic, we have our own problem, with 46,000 people crossing the English Channel last year. When you say send them back, how would you send those young men back? I mean, you'd need the army to do it, wouldn't you?
No, not at all. What do you need to do? You need to put them on the plane, send them back. The problem is that they destroy their passports, they destroy their fingerprints, so they are already criminals. But you cannot keep them. You cannot let them stay in here, because if we're going to continue with this madness, there will be 5 or 15 or 50 million people within 10 years. It's not going to stop, because people who are making money on it are very happy from what they heard from Madame von der Leyen.
And they're making a lot of money. Now, I'm joined down the line by Fadi Farhat, senior legal consultant and a lawyer specialising in immigration and...
How ridiculous. It's all about money making. It's so all of the what do they call them, coyotes, when they go across from Mexico to America, they call them coyotes, or the traffic smugglers, traffickers, taking people from one situation to another through illegal means, all for money. And we used to have the boat people here in Australia, and it's all of that, and it's all about money. So they're just as bad or as evil as the pharmaceutical conglomerates that are profiteering off fear and people's pain and suffering. It's disgusting. And we as human beings can't agree with any of this. I feel sorry for all these people that are fleeing where they are, but it's just going to be a shithole when they arrive where they're getting to, because nobody is prepared for these people. I'm going to play this a little bit and then I'm going to go.
Human rights law. Fadi, when you hear the view from a Polish politician, and they're on the verge of winning a majority at the next election, how would you respond to the idea that the only way we stop this is to simply send people back across the Mediterranean?
Good evening, Nigel. Thank you for having me. Well, in terms of the response from a lawyer's point of view, as a lawyer, you can comment on the existing state of the law and the existing state of the legal framework which we have, which across Europe is shaped by the European Convention on Human Rights and the ECHR. Of course, the old saying is, if there's a will, there's a way. So that's in the political ambit, and with a majority in Poland, one can say that there is a political mandate for Mr. Kaczynski's ideas and policies. But in terms of the current legal framework, the European Court in Strasbourg has been clear that in its previous case law, one called Hersey Jama is probably the most famous one, is that these policies of interception, even on the high seas, in international waters, fall foul of the Refugee Convention and Article 3 of the European Convention on Human Rights. So there is jurisprudentially, in terms of the legal principles, a legal barrier there. How you overcome those legal barriers is a question of political will, and there's no doubt going to be a collision between where the current legal framework will collide with any new political mandate, such as that put forward by Mr. Tarczynski's party. But in terms of the current legal framework, it would seem to be unfeasible.
So if for example, Germany, France, the European Commission said, we need to change that legal framework, they could do that, couldn't they?
They could, subject to the issue that, strictly speaking, the European Convention on Human Rights comes through one's membership of the Council of Europe, which is a separate organization to the European Union and the European Commission. But it's currently present.
See, they've changed the laws. Many months, years ago, I don't know when it was all changed, to make sure that this could happen. So once the people get there, you can't evict them, you can't remove them, you can't send them back, you can't do anything. Otherwise, you're the criminal. Yeah, hallelujah. Yeah. This world is a crazy, crazy place. And it seems that really, really, really dark, evil people try to cut every escape path or route possible so they can achieve their gain, their benefit, their goal. And that is to destroy society. It is demonic. It really is. Well, I'm too depressed now. It's a Friday here, and I'm a bit sad and a bit depressed. This is 10 days ago, apparently. But yeah, not good at all. Not good. But anyway.
Allow them to be sitting around and used to build a border wall when Republicans take back the White House in January of 2025.
Those arriving into border states are being moved around the country to self-declared sanctuary cities. Texas has bussed over 35,000 migrants out of the state and into different parts of the country.
Now, you have to think, these people have taken God knows how many hours, how many days, how many weeks, how much pain, suffering, sacrifice they've done to get from their home to a border crossing place. Potentially, especially if they're females, and even the males may have been abused, they may have been raped, they may have been mistreated in some way, they're probably extremely hungry, they're probably thirsty, they're probably sleep deprived, they're probably scared, very, very scared. And then they finally get to where they've been told will be their new home, the best place in the world, we'll look after you, come here, they give you everything, you'll never want for anything, you'll have the perfect life, you will finally be the person that you always want to be, and you'll have a future. And they get there, finally they get there, and then the old people turn around and say, you can't stay here, and they pick them up and they put them in mass like sheep, like cattle, onto a truck, onto a bus, onto a plane. These people don't know where they are. Can you imagine how scareful and how fearful that would be? And then they dump them somewhere else. And each way along the path, they're not wanted. They're unliked. They're abused. They're yelled at. They're in. Can you imagine why you'd be angry? And they're worrying.
Meanwhile, in California, San Diego is experiencing an influx of migrants being dumped on the streets.
Being dumped.
In the last 5 days, about 2,700 migrants have been dropped at transit or transportation system.
So I'm saying, they're saying they're dumped. It's like they're unwanted people. And that, I want everybody to be happy and have a good life. And yet these people, they're going to have this hatred for the people that have treated them so badly. So they're going to fight back. Okay, we're back to this gentleman here. He's making a very good point here. Maybe I cut off too early.
What's important is safety. We want our women, our children to be safe, and we're going to keep our word. We promised in 2015, zero. Not even one will come to Poland. We did not let anyone in illegally, and we're going to keep our word.
Dominic, that language used in this country would be written off.
Well, we've been called by. Listen, we've been
and we'd be told we'd be kicked out of the European Union.
We've been called by Jean-Claude Juncker a racist.
I know.
They can call us a pink elephant. I don't care.
I'm going to give the last word to Fadi. Fadi, you hear the determination. You hear a different narrative to one that you would hear in Scandinavia or at the moment in France or Germany. It sounds like these guys are on a major collision course, doesn't it?
Yes, Nigel. And it seems Dominic's outlining the principle that Parliament is sovereign and Parliament ultimately has the final word. That's one view. The other view is, of course, Parliament can only be sovereign to a certain extent because we have a supranational system. By supranational, we have a governing framework where inevitably there's going to be a collision between that supranational framework and parliamentary sovereignty at a local level.
Well, I sense a major conflict is coming in the next couple of years.
And it's just going to get worse, and that's exactly what they want. They want these people that they've got no energy left because they've spent all their energy, all their time, all their energy, all their money, all their stamina, everything, all their bits of patience and compassion. They've wasted everything to get to their final place. And it's not the final place. And they get shoved around like children that are in these horrible, group homes and welfare situations that always seem to not fit in, and they get shoved from place to place. And they're the ones that end up being abused and the ones that end up with a really, really bad life. They end up being criminals, or in some way they have a really, really shitty life, and it's not their fault. And that's what's going to happen to all of these migrants. And they're going to be pissed as hell. When they finally get some energy in themselves and they've got a bit of, and then they're going to group together and they are going to fight back. It is going to be shit. It is going to be hell on earth. You think World War III is between us and maybe Russia and China? Oh, no, it's going to be us, the old people against the new people in the replacement migration. That is going to be the hell on earth. That is going to be World War III on every single national country. It's going to happen. I can see it. Watch 2 more minutes of this and then I'm gone.
Stations in San Diego County. And what's happened is that the immigration system here does have facilities to process people who are seeking asylum, but they're full. They're at capacity. And so they don't have the facilities or the personnel to handle all of these people. And so what they're doing is dropping them off at transit centers throughout the county. And unfortunately, these people are bewildered. They don't know where they are. They don't know how to get to where they're going. They don't know how to use our transportation system. Many of them can't speak English. And so it's unfortunate, I think, for both the residents and the neighbors nearby these neighborhoods of these transit stations, and the people themselves, the asylum seekers or migrants that are being just dropped off and not having a clue what to do next.
San Diego.
See, he's saying exactly what I was meaning. He said it much better than I did. Yes, these people are going to be very, very, very angry, especially if something happens to someone they care about. And they're going to blame it on the local community, the country of origin, which they're hoping will be their final destination. Let's hope I'm wrong. Godspeed to all. Godspeed.
It is the only solution for us. We cannot destroy you, for we have as yet no existence. And we cannot allow you to return to your own time, for then we never would exist. The jury is returning.
About you two, but I can't take this thing lying down.
There's nothing we can do.
How can you fight against something that doesn't exist?
Well, maybe that works both ways. If we made a break for it, how could they stop us? He just said they couldn't destroy us.
Where would we go to make a break for it?
Well, it's just a hunch. But there's one thing they couldn't get rid of. The one thing that is the link with our time existence.
What link, Tom?
The plane. That's real. The only real thing in this fourth dimensional nightmare. But if we can get aboard and keep them out, maybe somehow.
Dr. Morris, what do you think?
As he says, the plane does exist. I don't see that we have any chance except to hope that Tom is right.
If we're found guilty.
It is the unanimous opinion of the jury representing all the people of the future that the accused, Dr. Carl Morris, Miss Marsha Paxton, and Thomas Endicott, charged with the highest crime, the destruction of the stream of life, are in truth guilty as charged. As punishment, they shall be condemned to remain frozen, suspended in time through eternity. For the preservation of our own hopes, we were left with no choice. The jury may retire.
Now's our chance. Head for the plane.
Come back! You're being foolish. There is no escape. No escape.
He's wrong. There it is. The plane.
Where is it?
Well, I could have sworn I saw it right here.
Possibly a rock formation.
No, it was the plane. I saw the open door. It's got to be right around here.
It is hopeless. Futile. You've been judged, condemned, and sentenced. There remains...
It makes me sick what I do for this shitty planet.